Hi, I'm Morgan, a digital marketing professional here at LYFE Marketing, and I'm here to talk to you today about a viewer request, A/B testing on Facebook. Now, A/B testing is the way that the pros use to make sure that they're not spending too much on ads, and that they're actually running effective ads. So if you'd like to learn that, come on and join me on the inside. Glad to see you here. I'm going to get into A/B testing, including showing you how to do it in Facebook in just a couple of minutes. A/B testing is an essential tool of any marketer or small business. It may seem like a bunch of extra steps, but it's actually crucial to run effective, profitable campaigns. Let's talk a little bit about what A/B testing is first. A/B testing is just a way to see which of two options performs better. A/B testing has been around for a while. Traditionally, it's used on websites or in apps to see which features people like the most, what keeps them in the app or on the website longer. In 2021, however, digital marketers are using A/B testing to see which ads are going to perform better, which audiences will like the ads, etc. A/B testing helps you save money in the long run because it identifies the ads and the audiences that are performing better for you. This helps you get more conversions at a lower cost because you're able to see these more quickly. This also allows you to keep things like your ad relevance metrics high, which matters a lot for your Facebook advertising. You may wonder how Facebook calculates the results of your A/B test. Are they actually showing this ad to all of those people, or how does this work? Facebook uses a confidence percentage. They take early results from your ads and they statistically calculate a winner for you. Your confidence percentage is really just the chances that this would happen again. What your confidence percentage is saying is if Facebook ran this test again, you're likely to get similar results. Think of A/B testing as a good way to fast track your account success, at least as much as you can fast track success in digital marketing. Now, it's not actually a backdoor to anything, but you can get to your results for better ads and better audiences much more quickly if you run A/B testing than if you're just kind of taking anecdotal evidence or what you're noticing week in and week out. Let's talk a little bit more about why I think you should be using A/B testing. So I shared some other reasons why I think A/B testing is a good idea, but here are the 4 main reasons people like to use A/B testing. First, it improves your user engagement. It increases your conversion rate. It decreases your bounce rates, and it reduces your cart abandonment. Running A/B tests can also help you quantify and test your marketing strategy. As an example, maybe your marketing manager thinks that custom targeting is going to work just as effectively as your interest-based targeting that you've been doing, but you're convinced that custom targeting will double your sales. Well, you'll never really settle this debate if you don't have any hard data to back it up, right? However, if you run an A/B test in a week or 2 weeks, you can have the information that you need to definitively say who's right in that situation and whether you should advertise to a new audience or not. Now, you may be thinking that A/B testing is just for things like font, colors, graphics, that sort of thing, but that's not it, actually. You can A/B test pretty much anything that you want to find out in your marketing. Here are some examples. You can A/B test your calls to action, see which one works better with your audience. You can A/B test your copy, long versus short, or casual versus more formal. You can A/B test your images and videos and also your graphics. For example, will images of your products work, or does your audience need to see videos before they'll click? You can also A/B test placements. Are your ads going to do as well on Facebook as they do on Instagram? Are they going to do better in Messenger or Stories? A/B test your audience and your targeting as well. These are excellent to use, especially when you get into lookalike audience territory. You can also A/B test products or product sets. And like I said, the sky's the limit. You can do anything that you want to test here. Now, before I get any further into A/B testing, I want to talk to you for just a second about our new digital marketing courses that we're putting out for you. If you found yourself marketing your own small business or you're getting into digital marketing as a career path, then these are the classes for you.
Hey, we just helped a small business make over $1.5 million through Facebook advertising. And after managing millions of dollars in ad spend for thousands of different small businesses, we have decided to give away everything we learned to you in a special program. If you want to learn the blueprint to success, the best practices from some of the fastest growing companies in the world, and all of the different tools you will need, then sign up for our social ads training program today.
You'll learn everything that you need to get started from people who have actually done it. I'll leave the link in the description box so you can check it out and sign up. Okay, now let's look at the most common type of A/B testing that's used in marketing, which is sequential testing. Now, I said that it's the most common type used in marketing, and I should specify that I do mean small business marketing. There are lots of complicated forms of testing that happen in marketing, especially with huge budgets or very complicated pipelines. When we're talking about small business A/B testing, though, usually we're talking about something called sequential testing. In sequential testing, you run a series of, you guessed it, tests to see what the preferences are. Let's look at an example. Now, your question may be what's going to perform better, a video or an image. Now, you can run an A/B test, and let's say that your video is the winner. Now, your next question would be, what type of video is going to perform the best, or will it really matter? Try a video next time with a person in it versus a video with just product in it and see which one of those does better. So you see that each time you run this test, you're testing for a couple of different factors, and you're building upon those. When you find a video that performs well, then you can test copy with it, etc. Now, like I said, you can get really specific here and test whatever you want. Some businesses get so granular as to test the colors that are in their different graphics. However, don't get too lost in the weeds doing that, especially if you're a small business and you don't have a ton of resources. Focus on the big questions here, mainly your audience targeting, whether video or images are going to do better for you, and testing product sets. So now let's look at how to run a basic A/B test. Now, I kind of touched on this a couple of minutes ago, but especially if you're new to advertising in general, I would recommend keeping your A/B tests very simple to start with. There is a little bit of a learning curve, especially if you're learning an advertising platform like Facebook as well. Now, as far as on the Facebook platform itself, the A/B test setup and evaluation are not complicated at all. They've done a really good job of fixing the platform. It kind of used to be a nightmare, honestly, but the business manager is getting a lot better. So I'll walk you through all of that, show you how to set up everything with detailed video tutorials in a little bit. So stick around for that. Let's look at the steps in order that I complete them for my clients. So the first step is that we decide what we want to test. Usually I have a question from talking to them, but it could be a question that they come up with themselves, and it will be a question that you come up with yourself. Next, you need to decide how you'll evaluate that test's performance, and we'll talk about that in more detail. Next, you'll create your control and your challenger, that's your A and your B version, and you'll set them up in Facebook. Then you'll run the test and monitor performance while it's going. And after the test ends, you'll evaluate your performance, rinse, and repeat. So let's get into it and look at what you want to test, or figuring out what you want to test. So now remember that list I shared a couple of minutes ago. You can test whatever you want here. Like I mentioned, for most small businesses when you're starting out, I would start small and test something simple like audience or your graphics or your copy. Whatever you decide on, you need to make sure that you're only testing 2 variables here. When you're setting this up on Facebook, they make it super easy. You create one entire version, it copies it, and then you just make your change to your second version. If you're running these ads anywhere else that doesn't have that option available to you, you'll want to make one ad completely, duplicate that, then just make your edit to the second ad and label them appropriately. Now, when you're setting your goals and you're deciding what it is you want to test, I want to caution you to use data-driven questions. Now, what do I mean by that? The best A/B tests, at least the ones that are more likely to give you a result and the ones that are more likely to give you actual direction and answers, are the ones with a data-driven question guiding the creation of the test. Now, at the beginning of your A/B testing journey, I realize that it will be a bit of a stab in the dark for you. You won't always know what questions to ask because you don't always have the data available. But let me just talk a little bit in more detail about what I mean here so that when you do have that data, you can jump in like a pro would. Now, let's say you're just getting into digital advertising, you haven't been on Facebook for very long, so you don't have a ton of data. But you've made a few sales, and most of the people buying are women between the ages of 21 and 28. Now, in your mind, naturally, you might have a question. Will the next age group like my products, just like this age group does? That's an excellent question for an A/B test. And it's a data-driven question because you know who your audience is already. You're not taking 2 random variables that you're not sure about. Now, in this version with your A/B test, your 2 variables that you're testing here are your audiences. So you would keep everything the same, the graphics, the copy, unless you went hyper young and hyper cool with the copy and you're not sure that it will land the same with the older audience. You can change that up to make sure that the test is properly set up, but you don't want to throw in too many variables, so keep the same graphics and everything. Now, you'll make your A, your control will be your regular audience, the people that you know that are already buying from you, and your B version will be your variable. This will be what we're testing. Will this new audience, who's a little bit older, still buy from you? I'll show you how to actually set up this test in Facebook later, but before we do that, I want to talk about how you'll be able to tell if this test that you run is going to be a success or a failure. Once you know what you're going to test, you need to decide how you're going to tell if the test was a success or a failure. Now, Facebook will tell you if there's a winner sometimes, not every time, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. As with any ad, you need to be able to tell if this is a success or a failure. And you can't rely on a winning result from Facebook because there isn't always a winning test result. So before I show you how to set up your A/B tests in Facebook, let's talk about how to establish your KPIs or your key performance indicators. Now, obviously, a successful A/B test is one in which we have a winner declared. That means we have an ad that we know is going to be better than the ad that it was being tested against. Sometimes we won't have a clear winner, but that doesn't mean that we're not learning anything from those ads. Outside of whether there's a winner declared or not, you need to decide what is going to make your ad successful. Now, when you're running tests, I wouldn't be too focused on getting those conversions as high as possible or the clicks as high as possible because that's not actually what you're testing, unless it is. However, we still want these ads to be effective. So decide the secondary action that you most want people to take. This is something that you're testing outside of what we're doing for the A/B test. Let's look at some A/B test best practices to make sure that we're making the most of these. Now, these come directly from Facebook, so you know these are good. The first is that you are only testing two variables. Facebook wants you to keep it very, very simple. The second is that your ad sets have the same budget, which makes sense. If you're competing with budgets and one of your ad sets has a huge budget and the other one has a very small budget, you're not going to be able to properly test those. And the third thing is you don't shut off your ads before they have time to run for the full test. Be prepared to leave your ads running for a week, maybe more, for your test results to come in. If you shut them off too early, then you won't have conclusive results and it will kind of be wasted effort. Let's look at setting up your A/B test in Facebook. Now, you have a couple of options when you're in Facebook for setting up your A/B test. You can do this during ad creation, which is a very simple process. And you can also do it from the experiments section of the Business Manager. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it from the Business Manager experiments section because Facebook is working so hard at navigating everything there. They're really going to be pushing people using that. Now, I'll quickly walk you through this if you were going to set this up through ad creation, but I'll go into more detail when I show you how to do this in the Experiments Hub. So first, you want to log into your ad account and go to your business manager, which is business.facebook.com. Next, you'll navigate to the campaign or the ad set where you're going to run your test, or you'll create a new campaign. Fill in your campaign and ad set details as necessary, or just jump in where you were before. Now, in the ad is where you actually set up the A/B test. So fill out your ad details, including the name in this section, and click Set Up A/B Test here. Now, what Facebook's going to do is they're going to duplicate this. You're going to finish your ad creation process, click Publish, and then you'll get the B version to edit really quickly. Facebook reviews those like they do every other ad, and then those two ads will go live at the same time once approved. Now, like I said, you can also set up tests in the experiments part of the Business Manager, so I'll show you how to do that as well. Let's get into that. Now, if you're new to A/B testing and you click on your Results tab in Experiments, you might see something that looks like this. If you were to click Create New Tests, it will just jump you to this test window. I wanted to show you that really quickly before we moved on in case you were confused by that. Click the blue Get Started button to start creating your test. You have two options for your A/B test. You can create a version or you can use an existing version. I'm going to choose Compare Existing Ads, but the processes are similar. Now you fill out the test details. You need to decide what you want to test. This can be campaign groups, campaigns, or ads. Now remember, these are things you've already created, so I really like this option if you're kind of short on time, but you want to see what's going to work best, especially if you have an ad or a campaign that's performed relatively well by itself. Okay, but back to it. The option A and B fields will auto-populate with the campaigns that you have created that are available for you to use. You want to pay attention to any error messages or warnings that you get because they're pretty strict and you won't be able to publish anything if you have those. Pick your start and your end date and then toggle on or off depending on if you want the campaign to end as soon as a winner is found. Enter your test name here. I suggest making it descriptive so that you know what it is at a glance. It may be easy for you to tell now, but when you have 200 A/B tests, it can get a little bit confusing and you'll thank yourself later. Enter the key metric that you would like measured here and then any extras that you want below that. You can add metrics by clicking the drop-down menu and making a selection, and you can remove metrics by clicking the little X next to the title. Now before you go, you want to check the estimated test power here. Facebook recommends that your test power be over 80%, to be effective. Now sometimes, like in my example, the test power isn't calculated or shown here, so in those cases you're just going to have to try it out and fly by the seat of your pants. Click Review Test Details here. Now you'll also be able to check your A/B test results here in the Results tab. Let's look at how to view A/B test results in experiments. You'll also be able to see these results in the Ads Manager as well, so you'll be able to check them in both places. But let me show you what it looks like in the Experiments tab. That way you can get comfortable with the Business Manager. So again, we'll go to business.facebook.com and log in if you're not already. You'll use the hamburger menu, which is the 3 lines, to navigate to Experiments and scroll down a little bit. Now if you haven't used the Experiments page before, it's probably going to look like this. You'll see the 2 tab options, Results and Test Details. Results summarizes the performance for your selected cost per result metric, whatever that is. And Tests summarizes your overall testing campaign activity. Now that you know how to set up and run an A/B test, let's look at how you can understand the results when those are finished. I'm going to walk you through this the way I look at it as an account manager. This is the way that I would look and see if my clients had a successful A/B test or not. We'll run through a couple of scenarios. Now, if Facebook determines a winner, they're going to email you with the results and you'll be notified. Your ads will shut off automatically, so you don't need to worry about them continuing to go if you forget that they exist, which I have done before. Let's start with a best case scenario kind of result, which is a winner is declared. If this is the case, Facebook was able to find a winning ad for you, so whatever you tested for, you have an answer to that question. This will give you direction for your future campaigns and should help you hone your ads. It could also launch you into your next A/B test that you can begin to set up now. Now let's say you've got a winner, but you think your ad spend is higher than it should be or than what you'd like it to be. There are a few reasons that this could be. It could be that the length of the study was too short. The ads didn't run for long enough, and that's why the spend is so high. It could be that there weren't enough results to actually calculate a winner. Now let's say you got a winner, but the ad cost is higher than you think it should be, or higher than you would like to see at least. Facebook suggests that this could be because the study wasn't run for a long enough period. Now, Facebook recommends at least a week, and they send you an email when a winner is found. Make sure that when you're running A/B tests, you're not shutting things off before the test is complete, and you're not making adjustments because that will throw off the results and it will kind of restart the learning process. If you follow the length of time best practices from Facebook and the ad costs are still a little bit too high for you, try running ads on your own outside of A/B testing to see if a little bit more time with that winning ad gets you a little lower cost. Now let's say that you don't have a winner. Now what? And if you run an A/B test and you don't have a winner declared, you can feel a little deflated. Trust me, it's a little anticlimactic to look at your test and not have a result. And you can often feel like you did something wrong. But if it makes you feel any better, and hopefully it does, it is common not to have a winner when you're running an A/B test. In fact, a study performed a couple years ago shows that only 1 in 7 A/B tests on Facebook actually give you a winner. Now, you can run your own A/B tests not utilizing Facebook's platform. We do this here at LYFE Marketing. We set up one version of an ad, and then we set up a second version of the ad, testing our 2 variables. So they run as 2 separate ads. When you do it this way, you do have to manually watch these things, and they're not going to have a winner declared because it's not being run the same way that Facebook runs these tests. But you can declare a winner when you're comparing the ad results. If you'd like an in-depth video on how we do that process, not using Facebook's built-in A/B testing, let me know in the comments and I'll get started. Now, if you really like Facebook's built-in A/B testing and you want to keep going with that, and you have results that don't include a winner, what do you do then? Well, you keep testing. You test a different variable and see if you can get a result. Then you can kind of determine what the difference with that test was. One of the fun parts about A/B testing is that it's never really done. You can find a result and an answer for one question, but it always opens more questions, which I think is the fun of it all. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up to let me know and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you want to see that A/B testing video of how we do things here at LYFE without using the built-in A/B testing, also let me know that way I can get started. I would love to show you my process. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our weekly digital marketing content. We're working really hard to put out more videos for you, so keep watching, please. If you want to learn more from me, visit our page and you can look for more of my videos or any of our other amazing videos. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.